All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Wanted to talk about 10 things we've learned from the second scrimmage of Alabama during fall camp. Thank you for joining us on the BamaInsider.com live stream. You can catch all our coverage, including some fresh nuggets just dropped by Tony Sukalis on BamaInsider.com. Just go to the front page. You can read all the nuggets, the inside scoop, and get everything you need on BamaInsider.com. We got a brand new promo starting tomorrow if you want to sign up for an annual subscription. Details on BamaInsider.com on Monday, so be sure and check in. Thanks for joining us today. A little bit of rain yesterday. Didn't stop the show, though, and wanted to open up the program. This is 10 things that we've learned, and we'll kind of move through those items as the show goes forward. We'll also pipe in some Nick Saban comments, as we always do. But we wanted to start out with this. Jalen Hurts played a amazing scrimmage yesterday, and this competition is far from over. He had a big showing yesterday against the ones and the twos. Now, Jalen just didn't go against the twos. Jalen had a good impact on the scrimmage yesterday, as well as Tua. Now, both quarterbacks reportedly threw 2 touchdowns apiece, and we'll talk about the receivers that they targeted during those touchdowns. Jalen Watteau, obviously one receiver who had a really big day yesterday. But here's Nick Saban to open up the program, talking about the progression of the quarterbacks, and he starts with Tua. I'll bring that up for you guys right now.
So where have you seen progress from Tua since the end of last season?
Progress from Tua since the end of last season?
Look, everybody has improved. Jalen's made a lot of improvement. Tua's made a lot of improvement. I think he has a better understanding of the offense. He's got a lot more reps. And I think, he's always been a very instinctive player. But I think he would tell you that his knowledge and experience has certainly benefited him in having greater confidence and understanding of what he's doing.
You're on the left with Alex.
All right, that was Nick Saban yesterday. We got a call in. Let me take this call real quick, see if I can bring it up. What's going on? This is Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling into the show.
Hey, how you doing, man? Are you still on? Is it okay to call in?
Yeah, absolutely, man. What you got?
Hey, my name is Sean from Huntsville, man. I wanted to just give you some quick insight on what I thought. It's like, man, the narrative, it's kind of like what Jalen said, man. Everybody's thinking Tua's going to start, Tua's the better passer. But here's a question I would pose to all the Bama fans. Yes, Tua's a better passer. We all know that. But is he a better quarterback for what Coach Saban wants? You know what I mean by that? Everybody's counting Jalen out, man, but I promise you, I coach football. It's nothing like having a comfortability with your quarterback. I know Tua seems to have all the right answers right now, man. But I hope that, me personally, I hope both of them stay. That way we can utilize both of them, as need be. With more passing touchdowns come more interceptions. I love Tua just as much as everybody else. But it would not shock me one bit if Coach Saban marches Jalen out there first.
I appreciate the call. Now, let me ask you a question. Why do you feel that it seems like a lot of Alabama fans, maybe it's split, maybe it's not split, but why do you feel a lot of Alabama fans have seemed to throw Jalen out to the curb? I mean, this guy is 26-2 at the helm. I know it's not all him. I know defense plays a large part. I know the running backs play a large part. But why do you feel they've just kind of given Jalen the cold shoulder?
Man, that's what I'm trying to find. I think a lot of our fans, unfortunately, are short-sighted. They see that small sample size of what Tua did in the national championship, and I don't take it from him. It was a great sample size, and it was the biggest game of the season. But here's what I would warn all the Bama fans. I've been a Bama fan since the Coach Bryant schedule was on the hard Coke bottles. This is what I would warn all our fans about, man. It's easy for a second-string quarterback to come in when the other team hadn't prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to come in and mop up duty and look good, but I want to see you when the other team has a full week of preparation for you, has a full game tape of you. You know what I mean? Jalen has done it. He's done it, brother. He's done it. He's not as dynamic as Tua, but Jalen has performed. And to say we won those games because of the defense, I beg to differ. Sure, the defense played their part in it, but Jalen won that game for us against LSU, man. The offense struggled, obviously. Jalen scored that touchdown. The offense struggled in the Clemson game. Jalen scored that touchdown and gave us a lead. Sure, the defense had played all those snaps, but we took the lead with a minute left to go. We had the lead. We did. So people need to be careful, man, because I promise you, it is totally different once teams prepare for you. Totally different. It's easy to come in against Vanderbilt and throw 2 touchdowns. And, I want to see you when Kirby has a full game to prepare for you. And one last thing. I keep hearing these fans talk about Matt Jones and this, that. I love our fans, man, but people need to understand Matt Jones was performing in A-Day against second, third, and sometimes fourth teamers. I tell people this all the time. It's a big difference, brother, in going against Raekwon Davis and Johnny Dwight. No disrespect to Johnny. I'm just saying it's a big difference from going against Mac Wilson and Dylan Moses than it is going against those second, third teamers who hadn't had any game experience. So everybody just need to take it for what it's worth, man. Let it play out by himself. And I know Saban, as genius he is, he's probably going to try to keep both of these guys and play them accordingly.
Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Call in anytime.
Okay, appreciate you, man.
Good calling, by the way. You can call into the show, 205-686-3604. If I don't get you on the line, you can leave a voicemail. I'll play it on the show at some point. Kyle Henderson here at BamaInsider.com talking about 10 things that we learned from Alabama's second scrimmage as Alabama continues to move forward to Louisville. That game just on September 1st down in Orlando. Our staff will be down in Orlando covering the game, providing coverage on BamaInsider.com. Remember, there's a promo that'll be starting tomorrow on Monday. Check BamaInsider.com. Lead off the show talking about Jalen Hurts having a strong performance yesterday, as well as Tua. The quarterback competition continues to press on. As you know, if you look in terms of Vegas has Alabama as a 22.5 favorite going into that game. Nick Saban, though, a little bit concerned. We'll play that after we get one more caller in. Let's take another call. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling into the show. What you got?
Hey, how you doing today, man? Calling in about the last caller that I heard. Kind of calling on the YouTube Live, and he was saying about how Jalen had won the games against LSU and against Clemson. The thing with Jalen with me is the defense is an awesome defense because we holding us in the game majority of the time for Jalen to finally make plays. It's not that our offense is struggling or it's just as bad. It's just our defense is out on the field more of the game than, our offense is because we can't convert down the field with Jalen. Jalen is a great athlete, great quarterback. He did what he could for us, and, I hope he continues to do for us. It's just we got to get our passing game to the next level.
What do you think about Tua in terms of what he brings to this team? Seems like obviously there's such high expectations from him, but we've seen just such a small sample size. I mean, do you feel that Tua's the one-all, done-all for this Alabama squad going into the 2018 season?
Well, of course not. We really don't know much about him. We only seen, a half of, actual D1 players. Most times when we get in, it's against second and third string, which is true. When Alabama had a game won, that's what any backup quarterback does. For Tua being there, the time that he has been there, he's learning. He's going to make mistakes even if he started this year. If he is the starter, who don't make mistakes? Peyton Manning and Tom Brady get paid to make, well, no longer Peyton Manning, but Tom Brady get paid to make mistakes. He's 41 going on his, 16th season. And, you're going to make mistakes. So I don't expect him to come right off and just be this superstar quarterback. Now, if he does, that's great. But he's going to make mistakes. We don't know what he's capable of in a full game. It's going to be tested against Louisville. Hopefully, we can get out the wrinkles early on him and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, I appreciate the call in. Call in anytime. Thanks for calling, man.
All right, appreciate you, man.
All right, we got another caller, man. Lines are blowing up. I love it. Hey, it's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling on the show. What you got?
Hey, I do expect Tua to come right off and be the superstar quarterback, but he's already come right out and become a superstar quarterback. I mean, people keep saying one half of a game. That wasn't just one half of any game. That was one half of a game against one of the absolute best teams in all of college football last season, and the second best defense in all of college football last season, only behind Alabama. That's not a small. You may say small sample size. But it's a significant sample. It's a significant enough sample to show us what he has against. I mean, he wasn't playing EZU. He was playing the second best team in the nation. And there's no defense on Alabama's schedule this season that is as good as Georgia defense was last season. And he torched it. In one half, he torched it. They had to back off finally. And finally, the quarterback forced Alabama quarterback forced the defense to back off the line of scrimmage. That's only going to open everything up. And we've already heard the rumors of what's happening in these scrimmage games this year. The guy is the real deal. I mean, people say it's unrealistic expectation. It's not unrealistic because he's shown once that he can do it. Now, does he live up to expectations? That always remains to be seen. It's not unrealistic. And as far as him being a Heisman candidate, of course he's a Heisman candidate. And because he'll be the best player. He has the potential to be the best player on the best team. That doesn't mean he'll win the Heisman. That's just saying it's a projection. The projection is he has the ability to win the Heisman. That's all the projection means. It depends on the candidate. That's all it can mean. Yeah, you would, based on what you've seen, you would put him there. That's not unrealistic expectation. The real expectation is, he's going to win the Heisman. No, that's not. No one's saying that. It's all you're saying is the potential is there. And you look at Alabama's schedule, which, I mean, and the schedule becomes lighter because of his ability. He has the ability. We've seen the ability. It is there. And people worried about turnovers as if, he'll be turnover machine. The last 5 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks have had over 6 turnovers. Only Marcus Mariota has had only 4 interceptions and still won the Heisman. The rest of them have had over 6. But they give you 30, 40 touchdowns. So that's a fantastic ratio. So Tua has shown himself to be the real deal, and it is not unrealistic to have high expectations for him. He has it on himself, and I believe, barring an injury, he has there's all the potential in the world to live up to it. And I don't think it's unrealistic myself personally. So, okay, guys, good talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for calling. What was your name and where you're from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Robert from Mobile, Alabama.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. All right, we got some, Jalen Tua, right? How did I know that was going to heat up the lines? Before you guys call in one more time, let's continue with the program. We'll continue to move through. You guys can call in anytime, 205-686-3604. The injury bug continues to plague this team. We got another caller coming in. Let me guess. It's about the quarterbacks. Here we go. Hey, turn your computer down before I take the call. What's going on? It's Kyle Henders. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I wanted to comment about the quarterback situation.
So what you got?
Man, I don't think it's much competition at all. Everyone says we see a sample size of Tua, but I've seen a lot of Tua, just getting to be a backup in the game, especially the national championship, the first spring game. He just has a better processor. He knows how to read the defense better.
Do you think that he gets a start against Louisville?
Yeah, I think both guys play. Tua gets the start. And they'll treat it. They won't treat Jalen in backup duty, so they'll definitely play both guys. Probably like 2 series each. Keep swapping them out, but Tua is just a better guy in my opinion. No offense to Jalen because he's super athletic. But, as far as quarterback goes, they just don't respect Jalen. Defenses don't. When we play good teams that have good personnel, we can't match up without passing. There's no excuse when we have so many 5-star guys to not be getting the guys the ball. And I think that's why Jalen's the better, Tua is the better guy. And I think it's not unrealistic for him to win the Heisman. I think he's set to do it, if just with our personnel.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling.
I appreciate it.
Man, Tua Heisman talk already. We haven't even got to game week yet, and everybody's talking about Tua. However, the lines in Vegas have Tua as, I think, 11-1 to win the Heisman Trophy, which is pretty incredible considering he hasn't even started the game here at Alabama. 205-686-3604. Moving to the program on 10 things we've learned about Alabama's second scrimmage. As you know, I started out with the program saying that Jalen did play very well yesterday, as did Tua. So this quarterback competition continues to spur through the fall camp, and it's been interesting to watch. And Nick Saban has handled it the best of his abilities. Let's continue with the show. I was talking about injuries and how this injuries have continued to plague this team. Here's Saban yesterday talking about the injuries that have hit Alabama. Let me line that up for you guys. Here we go.
Oh, well, two guys I should have mentioned. Matt Womack obviously had a foot fracture last year and was totally healed, actually stepped on somebody's foot and fractured his foot again. So he's going to be out for, I don't know, probably anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Chris Allen, surgical knee injury, he's probably out for the season. It's unfortunate that we've gotten two of those now at the same position, both guys that would have made a contribution to our team. And we don't have enough depth, especially on defense, to afford to be able to lose those kind of players.
Middle Cecil.
Yeah, I mean, big loss yesterday for Alabama, losing Chris Allen. I think, he was a guy who's certainly going to get plenty of time this year. Even saw him working with the middle backers as Alabama's continuing to fill depth at the inside linebacker position. Remember, Alabama lost Vandarius Cohen, got released from the team. Keith Holcomb decided to play baseball. Chris Allen goes out. Last year we saw a ton of injuries at the linebacker position, and it seems to be the case already with Alabama, and the season hasn't even started. Remember, Alabama lost Terrell Lewis early in the year to an ACL. So two guys out with the ACL, and as you mentioned, Matt Womack, who's battling for the outside tackle position with either Jedrick Wills or Alex Otherwood, out 6 weeks with the broken foot, same foot that he broke during the springtime. Kyle Henderson here at BamaInsider.com. 10 things we learned from Alabama's second scrimmage. Feel free to call in. 205-686-3604. Here we go. Hey, what's going on? Where are you from? This is Kyle Henderson.
Yeah, Cal, this is Norwood calling from Memphis.
What's up, man? Good to hear from you again. What you got?
Man, I guess I'm a lot like Coach Saban, man. I'm worried about depth. I wanted to know if you could find out something about Phil Mathis, Johnny Dwight, Josh McMillan.
Yeah.
First two, of course. Go ahead.
I think, Fedarius Mathis, I think we saw, some good signs of him from the first scrimmage, at least reportedly from what we heard. Young pup, I think he's going to get reps. Johnny Dwight, every time since you last called and asked about him, I've been looking at him at practice. He doesn't look too bad. I think he's a guy who could scratch the surface and can contribute. And then in terms of McMillan, I think he's a guy who Saban is going to need to really step up. A lot of these younger linebackers are going to have to step up, including some of these freshmen, Jalen Moody, and maybe even the freshman from the transfer from Washington, Ali Kehoe.
Yeah, he moves really well, man. I was and there's one more guy I want to ask about, the Hawaiian kid that they signed over the summer. Defensive tackle.
Tavita?
Bingo.
Yeah, Tavita.
Have you heard anything on him?
Yeah, I've seen him every single day during the week. We go to the media viewing period, and we get to check out the defensive linemen when they're at a certain angle during which practice it is. And he's a big monster, probably, 320, something like that. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't have the athleticism that Quinnen Williams or Deron Payne had, obviously, but I think he's a guy who could certainly, fill a hole, fill the trenches, clog up things. I don't know how much playing time he'll get, but he's definitely a big body, and Alabama needs those.
Absolutely, man. Again, that squad is loaded. I was listening to the guys earlier, talking about the quarterback situation. I think I listened to 3 guys. All of them had different opinions, but they were all right. I mean, we got a good situation, and my only concern was the depth. To get 2 outside linebackers hurt before the season started, and you're thin at the inside linebacker from the get-go. So I just wanted to be caught up on those situations, man.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Saban yesterday, pretty fired up, and I think he has a right to be concerned. Everybody saw the clip when he dropped the 4-letter word yesterday. It wasn't the F word, but it was another 4-letter word that was profanity laced. We'll play that clip for you right now. He's concerned. He's concerned about the depth of this team. People are going down, and you're right, and he's right. Alabama just doesn't have another guy ready. I mean, these guys have to be conditioned, trained, developed year over year to get them ready to play at this high of level. We got another caller coming in. Let's see. Hey, it's Kyle Henderson on the show. What you got, man? What's your name? Where you from?
Randy, I'm calling from Anniston, Alabama.
All right, man. What you got, Randy?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the quarterback situation. I'm hearing all these callers talking about Tua and Jalen. My thing is, though, I mean, we keep talking about Tua throwing interceptions and he's coming out the gun, throwing deep balls and all this type of stuff. But that's part of a quarterback's job. He's not going to go one game or without mistakes or anything like that, because Deshaun Watson, we all know about him. He's going to be a great star for the Texans. But if you go back and look at his last year in college, go back and look at how many interceptions you had. So are you trying to tell me that Tua's not going to be just as good, if not better, than Deshaun Watson? I mean, that's my whole thing. And Jalen, I mean, not to take away from anything from him, but he's a great great athlete, but doesn't mean he's a good quarterback. And now that defenses are starting to look more like Alabama, coaches are coming from Alabama, we need to, I guess, rise above that. I mean, the mediocre game management quarterback is not going to do it anymore. And I'm just thinking that Nick Saban, I just hope he picks up on that, try to see that. But with Jalen, he's a good guy. I mean, but right now in big time games, he doesn't deliver. He can't go to the NFL and do that because that's what they pay you to do. They pay you to deliver. If you don't deliver, then they get rid of you. So I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Hey man, I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for watching the show.
Thank you.
All right, more quarterback talk on the BamaInsider.com live feed. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. 205-686-3604. Here's Saban yesterday talking about, this is when he got fired up yesterday, one of his Nick Saban rants. And let me line that up for you guys. Here we go. This is him yesterday. He was pretty fired up. Here we go.
Nick, you've kind of repeatedly been a little bit critical of everybody beyond the first team, or first grouping a little bit. Does that concern you? I mean, you got another week of preseason practice. Does that concern you at this point that there's not more progress from that second and third groups?
Well, I've been concerned about this all along. I mean, so I don't even know why you would ask the question, because you all don't think, you just think we just, whatever happens, we just shit another player. And everything's going to be perfect. All of our fans think that. You all think that. That's what you write about. That's the message that you send out there. And yeah, I worry about it all the time. I may be the only one, but I do worry about it. So I'm very worried about it. But every team has problems. And look, how you manage problems, the discipline that you have to go about trying to help players improve and get better so they can have a role on the team, that's the most important thing we can do as coaches. So we don't have an opportunity to get any more players right now, and I trust and believe in the players that we have, and we just got to get them better. I mean, they don't have a lot of experience. They're young players, and we just got to get them to understand what it takes to be able to go out there and play with consistency.
Two more.
All right, that was Nick Saban yesterday regarding, those 2s and 3s that he needs to see improvement from. And now at some positions, we might see some of those 2s and 3s step up and see the field probably quicker than Nick Saban wanted them to. And he has a right to be concerned, with guys like Terrell Lewis going down, Chris Allen going down, Matt Womack going down. And there's a couple other injuries that have happened during fall camp. Nothing as major as Lewis and Chris Allen as far as those guys being down. But as Saban mentioned, I mean, plenty of guys across the college football landscape do go down. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but Georgia running back Zamir White, ACL, done for the season as well. So these heavyweights are going to have guys go down, but, it's also a really good problem to have these competitions, especially at the quarterback position. I mean, could you imagine if you just had Tua and then Mac Jones behind him? Not taking anything away from Mac Jones, but you have Tua and you have Jalen going into this season, both very experienced. A lot of poise from each of those guys that we've seen throughout the last season. And maybe it doesn't even matter who starts at quarterback for Alabama. We got another caller. Here we go. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling into the show.
This is Dwight from Decatur, Alabama, man.
What you got, Dwight?
I just wanted to talk about the quarterback situation. And I think one thing I think that people need to, really understand is that the reason why Nick Saban told Jalen in this scrimmage not to leave the pocket is because he is trying to still develop him as a passer. And if he's doing that for Jalen, then this is what he is obviously wanting, which is a pocket quarterback. So in order to distribute the ball equally to all the playmakers, I think he said this in many of his press conferences, he's really want to get the playmakers the ball. And the only way he's going to do that is if he has a quarterback that can actually distribute the ball, and Tua is the only one that can do that at this point. So
who do you think gets a star against Louisville?
I really think it's going to be Tua. I mean, I've looked at a few videos of Jalen Hurts from his freshman year to his sophomore year, and it's really not much of a difference. He's had maybe 4 200-yard games in his freshman year, and he's digressed from that in his sophomore year, in which he only had 2 200-yard games. So he wouldn't have pulled Jalen in the national championship game if he had confidence in Jalen. I think that he had more confidence in Tua all along, and he said this subliminally from the last 3 games of last year. So for people to say that Tua's going to come in there and throw a whole lot of interceptions, I think you need to look at game tape. And a lot of times Jalen missed a lot of open receivers. I think Tua would actually hit those receivers based on his him being more of an instinctive player, like Coach Saban said. So we need to stop thinking that Tua is going to be a turnover machine when Jalen, most of the time would run to the sidelines and throw it out of bounds. We're the only team in America that do that. So we need to really take more chances, because a lot of these teams going to have high-profile quarterbacks. And I really feel like that, Jalen doesn't give us opportunity to win against those type of teams, especially those big-time teams with bigger defenses. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling to the show. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Kyle.
Hey, have you seen some of these wide receivers that just fresh out of Alabama in the NFL making contributions for their squad? Not saying anything, but I mean, Calvin Ridley doing his thing. What about Cam Sims? Get those guys the football. They can do something. Here we go. Another caller. Hey, turn your computer down.
Hello?
Yes, turn your computer down. This is Kyle Henderson. What you got?
What's up? Okay, I'm just not watching your live stream, so if it's loud, that's kind of why. I've been slowly watching your channel and about Tua and the scrimmage and fall camp. I have actually been watching Tua since Elite 11 days. So, when he first came out, I looked at Tua, I was like, okay, I'm going to look more into him. And surprisingly been impressed with what he did on the field, on the practice, and in the final game of the national championship with Alabama. It was so impressive what he did in the second half when Jalen can't do. Now, I look for both spectrums of Jalen and also Tua. Now, look at Jalen. Jalen can make the throws when he's not under pressure. He can make the throws. He just have a hard time leaving them open. And everybody's seen Calvin Ridley before, When Calvin Ridley was frustrated with the throws, he's not getting passes. But by that time, Jalen and Calvin really had a connection, a chemistry. So every time Jalen wanted the ball, Calvin wanted the ball, Jalen provides it. That's where most of his games get close to that, because Jalen's target was Calvin Ridley. Now you look at the Alabama game. You had Tua and the freshman, I can't remember his name, but he had Judy. So I feel like Tua is much more of a passer and distribute than Jalen was. But you got to keep in mind, they both can pass. give the right space, the right scrimmage, the right what they call it, system for Jalen, I feel like Jalen can succeed in the running and passing. And that's what I say, because I see y'all talk about Jalen like through 3 picks. That's bad in the scrimmage. But if you give him time, give him the first string, give him at least have a quarterback coach, because they didn't have a quarterback coach for 2 years when he came in. Now they're just getting one this year, which is crazy. So he had no time to develop. I feel like if you give him at least a shot, show him with the quarterback coach, he would at least succeed in that system. Because they are run-pass option. Looks like they see Jalen. If there's a gap, they run with Jalen. If they see, downfield, like they couldn't get downfield the whole game, like Urban, they couldn't get down the field. You see, but he made plays with his feet. So I feel like Coach Saban would stick with Jalen, but will put in Tua for like the starter and put Jalen in if they can't keep him. So he was thinking about transferring. But I feel like that will be hurt on his career and his draft stock if he does transfer out of there.
I appreciate you calling. Thanks for calling on the show, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Now, a wide receiver that had a really big day yesterday reportedly was Jalen Watteau, the freshman out of Texas, speed type guy, really electric on the field. Wanted to play a clip of him. These are clips that we've seen, kind of the first look of Jalen Watteau. So I'm going to play this clip of Jalen Watteau. I think he's someone who could certainly make a splash. I think he's just too good to keep off the field. You're also going to probably see him on special teams for Alabama. These are clips of Jalen Watteau. All right, so reportedly yesterday, Jalen Watteau, who's a freshman at Alabama, caught 2 touchdowns. Now, he caught 1 touchdown, which I heard was a bomb from Jalen Hurts, 75 yards or so. And he also caught another touchdown from Tua Tagovailoa. Now, this guy, you're going to see him probably at some sort of a slot position. Heard he's even been returning punts for Alabama. He's a guy who's just electric. Look at those cuts. Look at the hands. I think he's someone who's certainly going to make a splash, and he's already making a splash for Alabama, but I think he's a guy that you cannot keep off the field, and really excited to see what he can bring to Alabama as a true freshman. Now, you have all those sophomores coming back for Alabama as well. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, even Terrell Shavers, who we've heard has had a big year or at least a big fall training camp for Alabama. He's the big 6'5" wide receiver, almost like a Cam Sims type receiver that Alabama has redshirted last year. Terrell Shavers, a guy certainly to watch for this season. Moving on in the program, you guys can call into the show still, 205-686-3604. We've already talked about depth, and if you want to rewatch any of the show and any of Saban's comments, you can rewind to the beginning of the show, or you can go to our YouTube channel and just look for the Nick Saban press conferences. I actually just added a whole playlist of all the press conferences, which will be really easy for you just to cruise through, find what you're looking for, including his Nick Saban rant that he went off on yesterday. Kicking situation. Now, from what we had, we don't see the kicking any at the media viewing period, so this is reportedly what we had yesterday. The kicking situation. You have Austin Jones, who's a transfer from Temple, and you have Joseph Bolivas, who are battling for that starting kicker position. We've heard that Saban could potentially play both kickers, just to kind of depending on which situation that Alabama is in. We did hear that each kicker was 2 for 3 yesterday, including Austin Jones, who hit a 50-yarder. Someone said on I'm not going to say where it came from, but someone said that it could have been gone for 60 yards plus. So that's Austin Jones and Joseph Bolivas battling for that starting kicking role. And we're going to likely probably see both of those guys depending on the situation. Secondary concerns. Remember, Alabama lost all these guys to the NFL, including their defensive backs coach, Derek Ansley, who went to the Raiders. So this year, Alabama has a completely new set of defensive backs, including a new defensive backs coach, Carl Scott, who I think has done a good job. Spoke with Terrell Diggs earlier last week, and he had a lot of positive praise for Carl Scott. So here's what Nick Saban had to say regarding the secondary. I think you're going to see guys like Deontay Thompson and Xavier McKinney get high praise from Saban, but some of those younger guys having a hard time cutting their teeth against these quarterbacks, which could be dangerous going into that Louisville game. Remember, the Louisville wide receiver recently, I think it was Dre Fitzpatrick, said that he's very confident that Louisville's receivers have the edge over Alabama's secondary. Here's Nick Saban talking about the secondary after yesterday's scrimmage. Line that up for you guys.
And then what have you seen from the young secondary? You had mentioned Xavier McKinney and Trayvon Diggs, but what have you seen from some of the younger guys stepping up in scrimmage?
Well, we didn't play very well today, all right? And they gave up a lot of big plays and made a lot of mental errors, all right? And I'm not pointing out anybody or anything, but, you know, we need to do better. We need to play better as a group. We have some individuals that are playing well, and we've got some other guys that need to play with a lot more discipline, eye control, and understand what they do. They're young players. I believe in them. I've got a lot of confidence that we can get them where they need to be, but they need to realize they got a lot of things to work on, and that's something that we definitely want to, you know, get back at. And these guys have worked really, really hard, but I think sometimes when things go fast out there, you know, it's hard for them to figure it out, and then they don't play with a lot of confidence and focus, and that just goes with being a young player. So we'll keep working with those guys and, you know, kind of go from there.
All right, that was Nick Saban yesterday after Alabama's second scrimmage, talking about the defensive backs. You can call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Appreciate all the calls today. It's been an action-packed show, gone on a good almost 40 minutes. I'll keep you guys for a little bit more, and then we'll spin out. Hope you guys have a good day with your Sunday. And I know I plan to enjoy mine. Alabama, again, will be in fall training camp, so you can catch all the videos and all the coverage, all the insider reports on BamaInsider.com. Remember, we've got a promo starting on Monday. If you want to sign up for a premium subscription, get that inside information on a daily basis. Of course, we have tons of recruiting coverage from Andrew Bone. Tony Sakalas does a great job on the team front. I kind of wear a bunch of different hats, and one of them is obviously running the show. So thank you so much for joining us today. Moving right along, there's no issues at defensive line, or at least doesn't look like it, right? You have Raekwon Davis on the outside, Isaiah Buggs. I'm serious. Isaiah Buggs at practice is incredible. He's probably one guy who doesn't get enough attention. He's really one of the alphas out there, and I think we saw one of those clips on training days that ESPN ran where he's like yelling at the team, telling them to listen to Saban. I think he's a guy who's going to really make a splash, and I think he's got NFL written all over him. Saban, as you know, he's been really high on Quinnen Williams, and that he's one of the most productive guys that he's seen during fall camp. I've really been impressed with Christian Barmore, who's a freshman. Ferdarian Mathis, who's a redshirt freshman, has also been doing work back there. Johnny Dwight. A lot of these second-tier defensive linemen, I think, are going to make a splash. But one guy who I've really been excited about, as a freshman at least, has been Christian Barmore. Let's see what else I got on the show. Trayvon Diggs. Did you know he blocked a kick yesterday? Got a chance to speak with him. I think he's due for a big year. Trayvon Diggs last year, remember, he lost his starting position to Levi Wallace. Came into Alabama actually as a wide receiver, then transitioned to a defensive back. Spoke with him earlier. This was last week. At some point we had spoken to the players. And Trayvon Diggs, a very likable young man, very intelligent, and I think Saban has a lot of confidence in him, and I think he's going to do a really good job for Alabama. Also, Shaheem Carter has continued to do a really good job for Alabama as well. Haven't really heard too much on Savion Smith, but I would suspect that he's another guy that's doing well as some of these younger freshmen who I think they have to cut their teeth at some point. But I really liked what I've seen, from Patrick Certeyn, for example. I think he's a guy who's long, lanky, and play a lot of variety of positions at Alabama. I'll play a clip here in a second as we talk about on this next segment here coming up, the freshman report. One more thing, Devontae Smith reportedly got a little dinged up yesterday during the scrimmage, had to be helped off the field. Doesn't look like a serious injury, something with the ankle, but I think he's going to be all right for this next week headed into fall camp. So that's good news for Alabama football fans. Wanted to talk about the freshmen, some of the freshmen that I've seen so far here at Alabama. A lot of these guys are going to see the field. As you know, a lot of freshmen last year played for Alabama, and I think it's evident that a lot of freshmen are going to play this year for Alabama. So here are some first guys that I want to talk to you about. This clip is going to be of Ayabi Anoma, who's a 5-star outside linebacker for Alabama. Here's Ayabi Anoma. I'll just let the clip run. Clip says enough. This young man is an outside linebacker for Alabama. And from the looks of it, he's going to get some playing time this year. So here's Ayabi Anoma, freshman, true freshman at Alabama.
I'm over here, man. I like that shit.
First look, Ayabi Anoma.
No, we do. Go. Think about your footwork, guy. You're in the wrong stance, guys. There you go. Fade him in. Back, right there. Finish. Right there. Stupid, go. Put it back. Game grab. Right there. Go. Right there. Good. All right, check. Hold up. Deep breath. Shoot it right. Yes, sir, J-Ho. All right, that's good. Nice. Yeah. Here we go. Check. All together. Switch it up. Pony right. Breathe. 7. Whoa. All right, this. Breathe. 7. Lock out. Crush it. Nice job. Good. I need one line. Whitey, I need balls. Right here on the hash, area. Out of the race, guys. Shut up. Good stance. Stay low. Look at it. There you go.
Good stuff, right? I mean, that's Ayabi Anoma. That's a true freshman. Probably floating around 6'5", 245. And depending on Alabama's linebacker position and the depth, you're probably going to see Ayabi Anoma make an impact this year, or at least get on the field. Now, is he ready mentally? I have no idea. That'd be a question for Saban. But from the looks of it, Ayabi is somebody who could certainly make an impact as a true freshman. Here are highlights of Patrick Certeyn. I talked a little bit about him. He's been repping with the 1s and the 2s, but here's Patrick Certeyn he's another true freshman out of Florida. Here we go. Line that up for you guys. All right, that was Patrick Certeyn, freshman at Alabama, working with the defensive backs. I think he's a guy you're going to see get on the field. I like that he's long, he's lanky, he moves really well, great acceleration. I think he's a guy you could probably play star, safety, defensive back, corner. I think he's a guy you could spread all over the field. Maybe, looking into the future, maybe another Minkah Fitzpatrick. Who will we ever have another Minkah Fitzpatrick? Probably not. But certainly like what I see from Patrick Certeyn early on. Here's another freshman real quick that I wanted to play for you guys. This is Christian Barmore. Big defensive tackle. He's number 58 in this next clip. You'll see what I mean in terms of he's just looked very good early on at training camp. Here is Christian Barmore.
Eyes up. Eyes up. Play it. Say the number. All right, over to the post office. Say the number.
That was a first look at Christian Barmore. Leave the lines open for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to go have the rest of my Sunday with my family. 205-686-3604. If you want to rewind any of the show, I will leave it up on the front page of BamaInsider.com for the rest of the day. Got some great stuff coming all this week as we enter the third week of fall camp. Following week will be the first week of game week against Louisville, which would be really exciting. Alabama already a 22.5 favorite against the Cards down in Orlando. Our staff will be there. Another promo coming out on Monday that you guys can sign up for on BamaInsider.com. 205-686-3604. Call in anytime. I appreciate all the calls in today. Great show. Leave the lines open for a little bit more, and then we'll close out. And as I always say, kind of towards the end of our show, really grateful for the members in the United States military. I mean, we live in a great country, so as I always say, civilian salute on our behalf. And to all our people out here watching this show, thank you so much for subscribing. Be sure and give us a thumbs up, a like on this channel, share it with your friends. And remember, all the coverage back on BamaInsider.com, especially the premium information. All the signups help us keep the lights on. And one more thing, if you guys want to sponsor the show, if you own a business out there, want to sponsor the show, sponsor the call-in lines, get a front page banner. We're trying to grow the business, so everything helps. You can reach out to me at Kyle@BamaInsider.com. Well, it looks like everybody has dipped into their Sunday, and rightfully so. I'll close up the show, but thank you very much for joining us today on the BamaInsider.com live stream. I appreciate the call-in. Alabama football and Louisville just around the corner. And don't forget to watch that new Alabama stadium renovation video. I'll put that in the description. That thing is incredible. The new renovations covering to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Cannot believe it. That Jumbotron is going to be the biggest Jumbotron in the SEC. Alabama doing it big as always. Thank you for joining us on the program. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Email is Kyle@BamaInsider.com. On Twitter, Twitter.com/BamaInsider. Same on Facebook. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This is the BamaInsider.com live stream. Have a great Sunday every day, everybody. I'll see you guys soon on BamaInsider.com. See you.